Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
The snow's been melting, but we've still got some wintry conditions to deal with overnight. Ben's got the updated forecast coming up next.
One of the first COVID survivors is working to help others get access to treatments that just weren't available to her. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, what you need to know before you test positive.
All right, Doc. Also, Michigan has a new hotspot for COVID cases, and health officials say it's largely due to conscious choices people there are making. Good to have you with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. Topping our news this evening, coronavirus as the state passes 800,000 total cases and 17,000 total deaths over the course of the pandemic.
Those totals come as the state reports 5,584 new cases today and 45 more deaths.
Many of those new cases are happening in a hot spot that may surprise some folks.
Right now, St. Clair County is #1 in the state in new cases per capita, and county officials are being very frank about the reasons.
Sean Lay live with a closer look here. Sean, the experts that you've been talking with say human behavior is the big factor here.
All through the thumb. What's happening in the thumb area is extremely eye-opening. We've been looking into it. COVID spreading so quickly in St. Clair County. We learned tonight the National Guard is being called in to get vaccine out into the county to young people.
This is about personal responsibility, okay? If you don't want to pay attention to the experts, then be responsible for your own health, and more importantly, realize that what you do is impacting people around you.
St. Clair County leading the state in new COVID cases per capita. Dr. Annette Mercantan is the county health director.
So we have this, highly contagious form of the virus that lands in this fertile soil of the thumb where people don't wear masks and they don't abide by social distancing rules.
And they're fighting a multi-front battle. Justin Westmiller is the emergency management director for St. Clair County. Today, a walk-in clinic. But the state isn't sending enough vaccine, while demand in some other areas is falling.
This COVID-19 response has been so very political that I think there's a lot of things contributing to people either just not interested in getting the vaccine yet or not interested in getting it at all.
We spend every day arguing with people who don't want quarantine, or they don't want to test, or they don't want to even answer our calls if we're trying to find, where they've been or who may have been exposed.
And now the virus is being spread to healthcare workers, which means they are not at work as hospitals fill up.
I'm not hearing a lot of people saying that the virus is a hoax anymore. What I am still struggling with is people saying that they don't need to do anything about it. We're smart people, so I just think we have to somehow decide that we're going to beat this. We have to stop fighting each other and fight the virus.
And part of that fight is the county asking for National Guard help. National Guard will start there Monday, taking vaccine out to schools. Their target will be 16 to 18 years old. Guys, get this, 31% of the county is vaccinated. The doctor you just heard from does not think they're going to get to that 50% mark. There's one piece of good news here. 50% of over 65 people in the county have gotten their shots. Back to you guys.
Looking tougher and tougher to reach these marks we've been talking about. If you're looking to get the vaccine, Beaumont is taking walk-ins at its clinic in Southfield tomorrow. And Michigan medicine patients can walk in at the Big House for their first doses of Pfizer this Friday. Our Ken Haddad keeps tracking these openings and more in a live blog that he's running at clickondetroit.com. It's on the homepage.
All right, well, our weather improved just enough for baseball today.
But an overnight freeze now remains a concern. Let's check in with Ben. Done with the snow, but the cold's still here.
Yes, improved is a relative term in that case, but you're right. Even though we are seeing some snow showers in spots, and we'll get to that in a minute, we do have freeze warnings in effect all the way through 8 a.m. tomorrow. So this is the second day in a row, and temperatures starting tomorrow probably colder than even what we woke up to this morning. It feels like it's below freezing in a couple spots out there, but the air temperatures low 40s and upper 30s. There's the snow that we're tracking on Storm Tracker 4. It's down there in the south zone, and this stuff has been some fairly intense squalls, even though they don't last very long and there's some sunshine around them. There are definitely some flakes flying down there in the south zone. That will fade as we get closer to sunset tonight, and air temperatures will be down below freezing after the midnight hour. We're going to wake up to the 20s. Wind chills tomorrow, those are going to be in the teens. We'll take a look at those in your 4-zone forecast in just a few minutes. Don't forget the Local Forecasters app has all the cold stuff in the short term and some very nice numbers in that 10-day forecast. We'll take a gander at that in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, Ben, we'll get right back to you. Derek Chauvin remains jailed tonight after being convicted in the death of George Floyd about this time yesterday. The Department of Corrections released a new mugshot of the former Minneapolis police officer. He was convicted Tuesday on all 3 counts against him. Sentencing will take place in 8 weeks. Chauvin faces up to 40 years in prison for second-degree unintentional murder, the most serious charge. The Justice Department is launching an investigation into the policing practices of the Minneapolis Police Department. The verdict has rekindled discussion of reforms that were proposed at the state level last year, immediately after the death of Floyd. Our Larry Spruill live with a look at where that effort stands right now in Lansing. Larry?
Well, Devin, lawmakers say there is still more work to be done, but getting a criminal reform bill passed here in Michigan has been a very slow process. But lawmakers say now is the time to pick things back up and get the ball rolling again.
My first reaction was just honestly, literally a sigh of relief.
Michigan State Senator Stephanie Chang says she was like others when the judge read the guilty verdict of Derek Chavin.
Grateful that the jury decided the way that they did. I didn't really feel joy or anything. I just mostly felt like, okay, let's get back to work. Like we got a lot of work to do.
Chang says that work is a statewide criminal justice reform bill, but so far there's been little progress.
In Michigan, particularly, we haven't done really anything. Hardly to address this issue.
Chang tells me there was some discussion when George Floyd died last summer, but that's about it. Now there's momentum.
So I am really excited to be working with Senator Roger Victory, who's a Republican.
But the question is, what's in this reform bill? We're talking about police training, the use of force policy, describing what type of force is okay and what happens if there's a violation. Also oversight, and lastly, but most importantly, police accountability.
When an officer uses excessive force and if that causes death or serious injury, well, what should be the ramifications for that officer? I recognize that this is going to be a long-term effort and that, changes through policy will make a difference.
And I also reached out to several Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey, and I have not heard back just yet, but the governor's office did release this statement. It says, in part, as our nation is renewing the calls for changes to police practices, Governor Whitmer is hopeful the legislator will work with her to reach agreement on common sense reforms that will build a better system of trust and accountability. We're live in downtown Detroit tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
Okay, Larry.
In the fight against COVID-19, knowledge is power, but many people have struggled to find the information they need, especially when it comes to treatments like monoclonal antibodies. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here with one effort to help close that gap. Doc?
Yeah, Kim. So Diana Barrett was among the very first Americans to be diagnosed with COVID-19 way back in early March of 2020. She actually spent 18 days in isolation, but she emerged determined to help others battle this virus and ultimately help end this pandemic.
If I was going to be one of the first survivors, there were going to be many to follow. I had no idea how many at that point, but that if we could come together as a coalition, as an army of survivors, we could donate our plasma, we could participate in the scientific process, and that's what we've done.
Diana Barrett is the founder of Survivor Corps, a one-stop shop for information about treatments, research studies, and support for people battling long COVID.
We have a map of all of the post-COVID care centers around the country, so you can get access. There are programs that you can access through telemedicine. There are webinars that you can watch on every subject from hair loss to pulmonary issues.
Barrett is passionate about increasing access to monoclonal antibodies, the cutting-edge treatment President Trump received.
We were all watching and saying, oh my God, if only that was available to the rest of us. But the truth is it is. And it is sitting on shelves and available for free if you qualify.
Survivor Corps has a webpage to see if you qualify and links to clinical trials to participate in if you don't.
And if you're over 65, we will get a nurse for free to your home within 24 to 36 hours to administer this treatment, so you don't even have to leave your home.
Barrett hopes even more survivors will join her fight.
There's a reason why we call it the epicenter of hope, because these are bleak times, but this is an example of just ordinary citizens coming together to help each other and hopefully saving lives.
Now you can find Survivor Corps on Facebook and online at gotcovid.org, and we'll put that link on our website. Remember, the federal government recently surged supplies of monoclonal antibodies to Michigan, but you need to get them within 10 days of your symptoms starting, and really the sooner the better. So it is really important to find out if you qualify quickly. Back to you.
Yeah, okay. Frank, we appreciate it. Devin.
Michigan Supreme Court rules that a sexual assault case against Mike Morse will go before a jury. The court says it's reinstating the case after it was thrown out back in 2018 when a judge ruled the woman lied during parts of her testimony. Supreme Court says dismissing the case went too far. The woman accuses Morse of inappropriately grabbing her while the two took a picture together.
All right, ahead, Help Me Hank has new information on that big Geico data breach and how it's connected to an unemployment scam right here in Michigan.